Oh, okay, I've charged it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna say this quickly because it was coming through me and I just wanted to put it down, right? So, I've realized that when I think about my life in terms of pre medication and post medication, that is for ADHD, I know that my life changed, right? I know it for a fact that my life changed. But when I think about like how my life changed, I don't really go into the intricacies, and I think about how my life changed externally in terms of like better timekeeping, better appointment like meeting, better just things that benefit other people and also benefit me in terms of how I show up. So it did make me feel more confident because I was like, okay, you know what, I can set up this meeting and I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna be feeling like apologetic or guilty for no reason, or just like I'm not my best self. So it helped in how I showed up externally and internally. Oh, another thing that really benefited me in how I showed up externally was how I showed up at work. So I think I was a better worker. In fact, I know I was a better worker. Like I was banging out like tasks every day, boom, 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 boom. Like I was on job. I was a better worker. I was more switched on at work. But today I was thinking about how my life changed internally, and I was thinking like the only way that I could like the way that I would describe that shift internally was that I went from switched off to switched on internally. Like with my life, the way that I was living before was very much like, okay, my job, like work, whatever I do, like it didn't matter as long as I got paid. And work was this thing that I hated, I really didn't care about. I needed to do it and I would just show up. And work was this thing that I did so that I could have my life. And my life could be the thing that was enjoyable. And living in the UK, the most enjoyable thing is usually food. Food and occasionally going out with friends. And so I accepted that polarity. And I would show up at work and I would be switched off because the job wasn't really something that challenged me per se. It was something that I could do. I didn't hate it so much. With time, I came to get a job that I didn't hate. Like at the beginning when I started, I hated it because it was customer service, call center, terrible. But then with time, then I moved into the corporate world and it became something like, okay, I didn't hate my job, like the task that I was doing, the projects, but I hated like being in the corporate world. Like at some point I worked in a building that was called Plantation Place. So the racial undertones were always like loud to me. They were not undertones to me, they were like loudspeaker to me because I'm neurodivergent. I'm uber sensitive, like super sensitive. So I can pick up on what is not verbally said. I can sense things that people themselves are not even like admitting to feeling. So that was always there, but again I was like, it's whatever, I'm here, I need to work and it is what it is. So cool, push through that. So in a way, I became like switched off. I'm not switched off, I would say it's more like depersonalization. I felt like I wasn't a person, like none of this was happening to me. And so my like demeanor at work was very much like this is not happening to me. And so what that allowed was that allowed for space for people to be like mean to me, like on a very subtle, like corporate acceptable like level. You know, that level where like people are mean in a underhanded way, in a corporate co-signed type of way. So I allowed that to happen to me because I felt powerless in that space. I felt like this is just where I am. This is where I find myself in life, and it's not the worst. So I just took it, and I didn't know like how to respond to it, how to address it, how to stop it from happening, because I felt powerless. So but I accepted it because I was gonna get paid. I needed the money to go live my life. Now, that's that. Now, on my life aspect, it was like, okay, now I'm off work. I can rest, and then I can use the only thing that I have to soothe myself, to make up for it, which is food. So I would go home, I would eat like a heap of jollof rice. Like I used to order jollof rice from this lady that used to like sell food down in Peckham, and she used to like bring food in packs, and I used to order from her stew. Her stew was banging. Jesus, she was banging, and she was so nice. And she'll pack them in this like really like tall takeaway plate. You know, like there's like different like sizes of takeaway plates. Hers was the tallest, and she would pack meat in it, and she'll sell it for £5. There'd be like 5 pieces of meat. There'd be like shaki and beef and like assorted, and it would be like 5 pieces of big meat for £5 in Peckham. When I discovered that woman, I was like, whoa, okay. I was even wondering, that's why I was like, how is this one making a profit? Like the amount of meat she's putting in this is too much. So I loved it, and it tasted good. That she cook well. She would make everything like stew, efo, ayamashi with rice. Oh man, I miss that woman's food. Fuck, that was so nice. Ayamashi, jollof rice, beans, but like there's nothing this might not make. So I used to live in Lewisham then, and she used to bring food to Peckham. So I would drive from Lewisham to Peckham to go pick up food. Like I'll order like plates and plates of food from her, like something like 10 plates of food, and I would have that for the week. And when I got home, I would have like jollof rice, and she used to pack it as jollof rice, chicken and plantain, £5. Yo, pre-COVID, that was pre-COVID. Pre-COVID life was sweet. Anyway, she used to pack it for £5. I'll order that from her, and when I got home, that would be my dinner. Like I would eat that. I would pack a full plate. I could eat that entire like tall takeaway like in one go, or maybe two like times, but it would be in the same night, because I'll eat the first one, I'd be like, damn, she's nice, I'll go again. Yeah. And I would watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. So that used to be my like post-work ritual thing. And after I eat that, I'll just knock out, sleep, and then the next morning we go again. And that was the cycle of my life. Now, at some point, my post-work indulgence started to visualize, started to materialize. You know, I started to see the effects of my eating habits on my physical appearance, and I didn't like it. Plus I was dealing with like skin issues, like acne, discoloration, like all of that. So I just was not like physically presenting in the way that I saw myself in my mind, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do something about this. So that was the point where I started weight loss research. There was this lady that I was following on Instagram that had posted something about a chemical being an appetite suppressant, and I started researching that chemical, because she was selling something similar, but she was selling it in these like diet tea and all, and I just knew like those things were like BS, so I never really went that way. But then she was talking about it, about a particular chemical in the that was one of the ingredients of the thing that she was selling, and she was mentioning the thing as the chemical as a thing that actually did the work. So I started researching that chemical, and I came across the fact that it was in ADHD medication. It could only be prescribed, and it was a component of ADHD medication. So I started thinking, how can I get this ADHD medication? It's like ADHD. So I started researching, like, okay, what is ADHD? And that's when, that's how I met myself. That's how I met myself. I started researching this thing as like a weight loss thing, and like the information I was like, why am I in this picture? Like, why are they talking about me? Like, how do they know me? Like, this is me. Like, it started just clicking all the things from my childhood that I just, this knowing that I always had inside me. Like, my brain is different. Like, my brain is not working the way like everybody's brain is working. Like, my brain is special. I just process things differently. Both in a good way and in a not so good way. The not so good ways, I mean, the good ways is what got me into corporate, because I always had that belief, like, nigga, like, what? There's nothing I can't do. I always knew that about myself. I was like, there's nothing I can't do. There's nothing these people are doing in these buildings that I cannot do. Nothing. So I always knew that about myself. But on the other side, the downside of it was like, okay, I had these like unpredictable energy levels. The thing that I know that I can do, that sometimes my brain doesn't want to do it. I know it can do it, but sometimes it's not feeling, it doesn't feel like doing it. And it's like, sometimes I needed to do the thing, but it's like, I'm not in charge of my brain. I'm not in control. My brain's just doing what it likes. It's just turning on its own. I just have to beg my brain to be like, please, I need you to do that thing today. And I don't know if you'll answer me. And sometimes it will not answer me, and sometimes I'll just be frustrated with myself. I'll just be like ashamed of myself. I'll just be feeling sad, just feeling angry at myself. But I knew I could do the thing. And the days where I did the thing, I was like, that is exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, there were those times where, like, pre medication, it would be like that, and me doing that research is what brought me to that information and to the knowledge of like, oh my god, this is what is happening to me, this is what is happening to my brain, this is what I am experiencing. It's called ADHD. Wow. So it became a thing of like, I might really need this medication, you know, like this has nothing to do with actual like weight loss, like on a real thing, like on a level, like I need this in my life. And also because I always had this dream of who I could become, of who I could be. I always knew internally, like, with all these skills that I have, all these things that I can do, this is not where my life is supposed to be. Like, I'm supposed to be bigger than this. Like, I'm bigger than this thing. I'm bigger than this life I'm living. I knew that I was playing small. And I always had the image of me at my best inside of me. I always knew that I could be more than what I was currently at that point. But I knew that I had these deficiencies that couldn't let me do that, or that wouldn't have enabled me to do that. And then COVID hit. That was the fork in the road. That was the big thing that happened. Then COVID, and actually, like, right before COVID hit, right, I had gone for a job interview. I was going to switch jobs. I had gone for a job interview. That salary of that job was going to be the highest I'd ever been paid in my life. I was 25 at that point. The salary for that job was 85K. Two years before that, I've been working in a call center getting paid 20K. So I went from 20 to a contractor salary, which was my daily rate back then was like 400 a day. I went from 20K to 400 a day. That was even pre-medication, just that pure determination inside me of like, I'm gonna go get it. I know I can do it. I'm smarter than half the people in this, like smarter than these people in this room. I'm smarter than the people in these buildings. There's nothing they can do that I cannot do. Just that pure belief, that raw feeling of like, I can do this thing. I did it just based off of that. That thing. And then I did it. And then I was like, okay, now next level. All of this pre-medication. Okay, now next level. And then I went for the interview for that job. It was 85K. It was with Legal and General. I'm gonna say the name of company. It's whatever now. Doesn't matter so much now. And so I'd gone for the first interview and they invited me for the second interview. I was on my way to the second interview when they called me and said, oh, we're putting the role on hold because the the government closures and the lockdowns and stuff had started to like come into place. So I literally remember like turning back. I was on my way to the interview and I literally like turned around and went back home. I mean, it's quite interesting too. So that was all pre like medication. Now post medication. Okay, no, I'm gonna slow it down. So then that lockdown space, right, then gave me time to go back to this research, this information that I had, this knowing, and then start to like research. Okay, fine, there's this thing called ADHD. Yes, it's a bit of me. Yes, I would like to manage the deficiencies. How do I do that? Then I started to research the right to choose process in the UK. That's the NHS right to choose. That's one of the pathways to getting a formal diagnosis and getting medication, which was the form of management that I wanted to go with. I'm big on pharmaceuticals. Like, I love me some medicine. I love popping some pills. Like, just hand it to me. Right? If I have a problem and the solution to my problem is in a pill, give it. Hand it over. Right? I don't want to hear. Give it to me. That was my stance. Give it to me right now. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you can't trust these big pharma. Give it to me. So yeah, that gave me space and time to like do the research. That process was long. That process was long. So I had to fill the form, submit it to my GP, then follow it up because again, NHS, like my GP had to do the referral. Jesus, come.